Hello, my. You know, what's the point of having a shortcut to start the recording if it's just going to give you this big pop up in the middle of the recording telling you that it started? Like, come on, man, I'm trying to be subtle here. I might as well just open up the entire interface and be like, yo, guys, hey, start my recording. Don't worry about a thing. Anywho, yeah. Well, anywho, yeah. As the title of the video probably displays, this is going to be the 0th episode of my visual programming system development devlog. I don't know if I ordered those words correctly, but I did my best. This was spawned after I saw Game from Scratch's the dear daddy senpai of yours truly uh, release a video in comparing the different visual programming systems of a variety of game engines. And so let's go check out that video. It was a pure inspiration, nothing else. There's no other reason I'm doing this besides just enjoying the fun of creating a codeless visual programming language. But to be completely honest, I think the idea of a codeless, quote unquote codeless visual programming language is inherently flawed and something that really shouldn't be, sought after in a very low level sense. I much prefer a text-based programming language, obviously. And I think that a text-based system is more appealing to the way humans ingest and produce information. But despite that, there are a shit ton of different systems available, a lot of which is mentioned in this video, stem from the Unreal Engine blueprint system, which is by far the best designed and I guess I'd say the most painless interface to use. It looks nice. It feels nice. It's clearly built with the idea that, hey, humans are going to use this shit a lot. And yeah, but even then, it's still flawed in the sense that it's just so confusing. It's laid out in a giant grid area, and while there are tools to kind of label certain pieces, it's still, I don't think it's still as effective as it should be. I feel like there should be more clarity and more control over a system for finding where events begin. Perhaps there would be different actual worlds of blueprints for each event trigger. But yeah, I'm not too sure beyond that. I would definitely say it goes downhill from here in terms of at least the two-dimensional visual programming languages. You got Unity's upcoming system, you got Godot, I think it's right here. Yeah. Oh boy, look at that. Ew. What are they doing, man? Look at Ew, oh my god. And see, I have a problem because Godot's already has the perfect system in my opinion, which is a custom higher level language built specifically for the software. Going over here, we have Game Maker, which is another one of the kind of, how do you put, pioneers of drag and drop for game development public systems. I mean, we're looking at Game Maker Studio 2 right now, but back in my day, we had Game Maker 8, Game Maker 7, where you'd click on an event, you would create that trigger section, and then you can list out all of the commands to occur for that, for that trigger. And even then, that was still kind of disgusting and terrible to play with. But it was, leagues ahead of something like this. I think the issue really does stem from trying to implement something low level in a very high level system. And one of the reasons why Game Makers, at least I think, is so successful is because it has that custom language built for it. You can take the low level stuff and implement it in a very low level kind of interface with just pure text that still stems and kind of builds upon the game or just programming languages as a whole, but still maintains that kind of high abstract capability that makes it not so difficult to kind of deal with. Built-in functions for creating or destroying objects, other controls, variables, etc. that could be easily be transferred from one to the other, while still being segregated into different like event triggers. So I would definitely say Game Maker is the one that takes a cake in terms of a one-dimensional system. But who knows? Who knows if that's like really what it was, or if it maybe it's just, I don't know. Because I'm kind of torn, because Game Maker is now clearly implementing like a two-dimensional system with the kind of blueprint style thing, but it also has like an equivalent in one dimension right here. So it's really hard to say. I should check this out, definitely. But yeah. Besides that, we have a bunch of we have shit like Pixel Game Maker and their absolute atrocious kind of attempt to combine both one-dimensional and two-dimensional systems. Because we kind of have like the one-dimensional side of very restricted set commands with one input and one output. But then it also has like the kind of two-dimensional system of this entire layout. And as a result, you get these just giant clusterfucks of, you know, different interfaces clicking into each other. If you saw my MV Trinity review, you know that that famous shot where it's like the fucking Pixel Game Maker Twitter showing off this this fucking modern art of like blocks and lines just going crazy. Yeah, Pixel Game Maker is by far the worst out of everything. It is 0% effective. Now here is an interesting one, Game Salad's sort of system, which is very reminiscent of RPG makers, which I really enjoy, which is a one-dimensional kind of stylized, very simplistic, the branchable in the sense that it branches into different clusters or containers. I don't think RPG Maker's on here, but like if we go into VXAce I have over here, we can see like, you know, if we open a conditional branch, we have two separate branches we can insert into commands. Excuse me. From there we can also insert more things. And then this one kind of owns this entire block. So if we create something else and then move it down below it, we can kind of do that like that. So yeah, that's cool. In fact, I'd say that RPG Makers is kind of like the one I'm going towards. A very one-dimensional, indented, branching system. The only reason I wouldn't say I'm fully convinced that it's heavily inspired is because the kind of design of RPG Makers is very lazy. It's literally just one of their like list widgets built to function as an event system. And it's kind of interesting how they haven't changed this, even when they like took MV and ported that entire software to like a new framework. It still kind of had like a new software backend, which was Qt. They still kind of, you know, took the lazy route and didn't really make a proper system, which I kind of want to do. Something that looks nice and is more segregated than because like if you take this away, take the highlight away, what do you see here? Like if you're not conditioned to look at RPG Maker events, this is a fucking clusterfuck, you know? But then you have something like Game Salad, or I guess also Visual Novel Maker, where it's more the actual quote-unquote events are clearly a single item. They build into each other. I don't like how the width gets smaller on both sides. I think you should try and go for like this indentation, but they all like end at the same point to maximize the amount of space you have. Plus, there's like no real reason to do that, especially when you have like buttons and stuff on this side, you don't want to make it. You want to make it all lined up. You want to make it look nice. This probably also doesn't have a hover animation. I could be wrong, but like a black and white thing like this does not look very prone to a sort of a cursor indicator. I mentioned Visual Novel Maker, which, let me pull that up right here, which I would certainly say Visual Novel Maker is like the treasure trove of brilliant ideas that just aren't implemented as perfectly as they could be. Like, the eventing system is perfect in terms of mechanics. You can move it around quite easily. You can condense them, bring them back up. But it's like, it doesn't look that good. Like, it just, everything jumps their position. It kind of, it's not as, how should I put it? It's not as clear as to what you're clicking on as much as it should be. There's not that much space. I would have preferred if like this was over to the side and this preview was like smaller and over here. But you know, it still kind of works, and you can customize it or like move it as you please, so it's not that big of a deal. The one big issue is kind of like the conditions, where like a sub branch would be just a slightly indentated kind of command right here, so that gets kind of confusing. We definitely want more of the sort of ownership system right here, perhaps one that can even collapse the sub events within it. Yeah, like see how like this otherwise right here kind of has condensed, presumably with more kind of commands or events within it. So that's a desired goal. Then you have like really shitty stuff like, you know, Copper Cube. This is it. You got like a native drop down menu. Nice job. Yeah. Oh, Armory 3D looking kind of nice. It's kind of clean, but still, it's, can't say I'm a huge fan of the 2D sort of customization. Now, I will say, if maybe I'm wrong, but if there's like a, I don't think there's any like 2D conversion to text. If there was, or code, I should say, like code to visual conversions, back and forth. Like, to turn visual into code would be easy, but to turn code back to visual would be nearly impossible with how kind of extravagant and customizable code is, which kind of goes back to how you can't really fully take full control over the enjoyability of the coding aspect. But yeah, I will say I love this design. It's pretty fucking smooth. Armory 3D is a pretty good job. Shout out to them boys. Hacks bros, am I right? Anyway, I think, oh god, Scratch. Scratch is fun. It's one-dimensional, but it's still no, it's like a merge of both one-dimensional and two-dimensional. And like Pixel Game Maker, it's still kind of shit. Like, your goal is to create something that looks, how should I put it, looks nice, and it's very intuitive. And in my personal opinion, Scratch is not. It just looks ugly, man. It's hard to like pinpoint what you're looking at. But I don't know, maybe that's just me. Maybe if I were to use it, I'd actually like kind of get into the mindset needed. Perhaps. Anywho, like the issue really is that it's too much drag and drop. Like, you have to drag and drop like components into here. You have to drag and drop like a triangle piece into the condition, which makes sense because you want to associate a certain, like, how would I put it, shape to a like Boolean return, an action, a perhaps a stop, etc. But you know, I feel as though it should be you double click on the condition and it brings up all the Booleans, you know? You double click on like the set features and it brings up all the options for that. And if my mind is remembering things correctly, it's more so that you just have everything all at once and you have to pick and choose those pieces, which then again would be better. It would be better to help learn coding from the kind of behavior they provide, which I guess is their goal, but not the best option for a sort of visual system, in my opinion. So, for my language, it's definitely going to be like sort of maker-based. Game maker, RPG maker, visual novel maker, one-dimensional. So, one dimension, we'll say colorful, looks nice, animated. So definitely when I want like organization, when I want the organization to work, I want it to like, I want you to see the things shift into place as you move the piece or move the command. So I'll definitely say animated there. I guess we want it kind of condensable. We want a parent-child system for the branches, so with small indentation. Because I think if you use the right visual cues, it would, don't really need that great of a kind of indent for them. I guess in some way it is going to look a lot like Scratch's system. Oh, excuse me. But a bit more expanded. It should be compatible with indefinite width. But it still can have like a minimal width, preferably. Needs to be modular. Commands can be added or removed at ease. As in like actual command, like, you know, classes of commands and stuff. In terms of design and color, it should be compatible with surrounding themes. It should like sort of be able to be isolated in its own way. So I guess we'll say isolated. In terms of implementation, we'll use, we're gonna use something a little level like C++. I'm thinking either like, I don't know if I want to use QML or we could go with QGraphics preferably, or even something outside of that. We can go with like a lower level graphics framework, maybe Ka, maybe SDL exclusively. Since it might be purely desktop, that would work. It's really hard to say. I'll have to think about that more later. But yeah, I don't know. Like I mentioned, now this is I'm not sure if I want to do this, but like conversion between what's going to be JSON data is the output and like coded code style text. Now the issue with this is that a lot of people probably would not prefer a very restricted code system, even though a code system would be purely a plus to add. People love to fucking complain and shit, so it might end up being like a detriment to the system as a whole because it isn't a real coding language, which sucks. People are stupid, but you know, that's how it is. But I think that would be a smart move. Yeah, we'll see about that. In terms of design, I guess, as I sort of mentioned, I want it kind of like, you know, you got a square. God, that's not a fucking square. There, yeah, ignore this part. That's not a thing. You got this square. You're gonna have events with different colors, so sort of like visual novel maker-esque. So like this, I guess. Probably gonna be a dark outline, maybe a double outline. Double outlines look nice, but you gotta be careful with them. We have a double outline. Do I want a gradient in the middle? I guess, I mean, a gradient can't hurt, but with something that big, it's really hard to say. We'll definitely say the inside will be lighter. Be a lighter inside. Maybe like a dark square right around here with the title and the contents. Yeah, definitely visual novel maker kind of design with a condenser arrow right here. Keep everything on this side on the left to help with the width expansion. But now the game salad had an interesting choice of a X button on the right. I don't know if I agree with that, but let's just throw that in anyway. But then I also had like the kind of, maybe I should put the X button right here. No, that's too clustered. Yeah, I don't know. Then for conditions, I don't want them to be inside the condition. I really don't, but if we had it like, you know, not like inside the actual area, but like inside the space the area can provide. Kind of like RPG Maker again. That would be kind of like that. And then it wouldn't look as jarring to move it in and out. And it also would make some sense. Because if you're to take like a piece like this and then move it down, well, what's going to happen? This guy's going to flip up here. So it should be that you go down and it kind of you go down, but it doesn't quite move yet. It's still like opens. But oh man, how would that work? Kind of like an animated system where you can place them inside of each other. That's a difficult prospect. That's where shit gets a little complicated. Wow, that's a really hard one. That's a really hard one. I mean, we need a space open. And if I move this down here and a space opens up inside, we can push the blue part up, but keep the space. Like all the space that we replaced up here can be moved inside. But then we move it a bit lower, and that's when it kind of jumps up. Okay. That makes sense. Boop, boop. Cute enough. But still kind of spooky. I really hope I can pull that off. That's some high scale behavior right there. Yeah, but I guess besides that, in similar sense to the RPG Maker, I'll add like double click buttons so you can just easily add events. I said drag and drop, but like I honestly prefer like the double click in the system thing. I don't like to move the mouse a lot. Like I want the mouse to be in here doing everything in here. If you double click, maybe like kind of push this back in the distance and open up like a section for selecting a command in similar sense to the Discord bot maker sort of selector. Or maybe it would do that in the, I don't know. What if it pushed down and like the panel opened up on the left and you dragged pieces out of there? God. Who knows? What a mess. What a fucking mess. Anywho, I think this recording has gone on for long enough. Thank you for watching. Be sure to take your thoughts and opinions and keep them in your brain. Don't comment them. Be sure to give this video a thumbs down. Just kidding, give it a thumbs up. I want to say give it a thumb down as a joke, but seriously, please give it a thumbs up. but also give the thumbs down as a joke. As a joke. Don't actually do that. Who am I kidding? Who's gonna make it this far in the video? And yeah, be sure to click that share button. Link it to all your friends and family. It was a well spent endeavor to make this happen. And next time, my goal for the next episode next week, same time, same place, same everything, is going to be to have this actually implemented in terms of blocks. You can move them and you can put them inside each other. Nothing else. So yeah, so I'll say week one. Week one is to make moving blocks. Week two is modular eventing system / drag and place source area. And then week 3 is JSON code conversions. That's a fucking clustered week. I don't know if I can pull that off. But we'll see. We'll all see. Wah 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 wah. Anyway, let me. Oh, I forgot you push Alt F9. Okay. Okay, guys. Seriously, goodbye for now. Alt F9.